Friday, June 19th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host for today, Jay Scuba, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Mike Bennett, working his way behind the boards, and we got a great show for you today. One thing off the top I want to get to, crazy stuff going on the roof, so if you can hear that, I apologize. I don't know if they're leaf blowing. There's just a very loud noise on the roof right above us. Hopefully you guys don't hear that, but if you do, it might come in. Apologies if you do hear that. Just bear with us. It shouldn't take too long. Cannot wait to get into today. Before we do, oh, Canada. What a freaking win yesterday. The biggest win for this Canadian men's national soccer team in the history of the Canadian men's national soccer team. Our first ever World Cup win, and it comes on home soil, and it comes in an absolute beatdown of Qatar. 6-0 win. We needed as many goals as we can get because of the Switzerland game previously versus Bosnia, and we completely overperformed. It was tough losing Kone. What a brutal injury that was, but I mean, the vibes are high here in Canada, and I was pretty happy to see. I'm sure everyone who was watching that here in Canada enjoyed it with some friends at a bar, at a friend's house, on a patio, and it was just scenes all around. What a beautiful thing, and this is what the World Cup is for, coming together and experiencing moments exactly like this. Now, I'm not saying Canada's going to go out and win the World Cup now, but having a win like this, it's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. So as a proud Canadian, makes me feel really happy. Let's get into today's show. Let's talk about the lineup we got on today. DeBundo was on yesterday. We got him back for today. He absolutely nailed the World Cup match day 1 breakdown, recapped everything that happened. So if you feel like you're a bit behind on what happened before this match day 2, go back and listen to that episode, because there's still tons of nuggets on there. Even though we're getting into the Group C and D games now, there's still 8 other groups that are going to be happening over this weekend that you're going to want to stay on top of in terms of group betting, some angles that we can play in the match day 2. You're going to want to go back and listen to that. So if you haven't listened to that already, go check that out. Today, DeBundo's going to come on. We're not going to talk about groups again. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about the games today, and we're going to talk about the games on the weekend. So that is 12 games to cover, and it's going to be a ton of fun. After that, we got Barry Horse coming on. Listen, it's been all World Cup here on the channel, and I'm not complaining, but Ecold in the chat, are we clicking Houston Astros to win the World Series at 60-1? Well, I got Mr. Barry Horse coming on at 12:05 to talk you through exactly that. Cannot wait to get into today's show. Really excited to get into things. Before we do that, though, do us a favor. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel if you're new to the channel as well. Hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, because guess what? Another watch along is happening today. 2:50 p.m. Eastern time is when we go live for the 3 p.m. game. USA versus Australia. Can the USA pull out a big victory here after coming off a dominant win over Paraguay? Australia also upset Turkey. This is essentially for, if things shake out as we expect, this is for first place in the group right now. Most likely for first place in the group. You win this, you're all but guaranteed to win first in the group, unless we see some craziness happen elsewhere. It's going to be awesome stuff. Cannot wait to watch this game. We'll be live. It'll be myself, it'll be Jacob, and maybe Moretto. I know I said Rob was going to be on the Friday show, but Alex messed things up. He said Rob is going to be on Friday. No. Rob's going to be on Wednesday, next Wednesday. So it's myself, Jacob. We got the youngins. No more unks in the on the show today. It's just the youngins today.
What could go wrong? No, just kidding.
We're the ones who do everything anyways.
Yeah.
Moretto and Rob are just sitting back and drinking their beer.
So confirm Moretto is not going to be in today.
Yeah, so Moretto's not going to be in today. We keep the ship running though. We keep things tight, and yeah. Going to be an interesting match. Pulisic seems like he is ready to go. We'll find out the exact lineups in about 2 hours or so. But if you want to bet on Pulisic now and he's starting, you got to be careful, right? He might get subbed off. And if you're going to be betting him on some other sports books, that might punish you. He might only play 50 minutes, 40 minutes. He might not even play the full first half. We don't know how long he's going to play, if he's ready and fit to go for a full 90. But on FanDuel, the super sub promotion, you're not going to get punished for him subbing off, because on the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game. Sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with that substitute. So you're still in until the final whistle, because in matches like these, anything can happen, and now your bet can go the distance. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to get started right now. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, affiliation Kansas, Casino 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpline.org or call 1-800-375-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Call 1-778-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 1-877-770-7867 in Louisiana. All right, we're going to have to ban Charles Saul in the chat right now. Kucherov Merchant calling Darren Radish. New Maple Leaf at Kucherov. I promised Mike before the show, no Leafs talk. But no, you can't be calling him a Kucherov Merchant. That's a great deal. We're happy for the Leafs. We'll get into that a little later on in the offseason. Right now, we're talking some World Cup. And I'm excited to bring on our next guest. Like I said, he absolutely dominated the show yesterday with incredible great breakdown of match day 1. I see him wearing his US jersey. He's probably really happy about today. He's a writer and podcaster over at The Ringer. Go check out his World Cup article that he wrote yesterday. Check it on my Twitter or his Twitter. I retweeted it. 11 thoughts after match day 1. You're going to want to check that out. Let's bring him on in. Anthony DeBundo. Anthony, how's it going?
It's game day, baby.
You
guys got your game day. Now we got our game day. Let's bring it on. The Aussies, never liked them anyway. I'm not really much of a shit talker at this point, but I'm excited. It looks like Pulisic might play. US is feeling good. I'm feeling good. And this country is so ready for a big day today.
It's going to be incredible. It's going to be awesome. Listen, we got our win. It came at a cost, obviously, losing Kone, and super happy about that. That Canada watching their first ever win on home soil in the World Cup is pretty amazing here. Before, I didn't prep you for this. I apologize, but I know your soccer knowledge is vast. I need you to tell me the importance of the loss of Kone for this Canadian national team.
Yeah, I mean, Canada has improved its depth, but they don't have another all-around midfielder like Kone is. And in terms of ball winning, ball progression, he's kind of just like a pretty good do-everything midfielder. And without him, like, you do lose the ability. There's going to be, I think, a drop-off a little bit in their midfield ball winning and pressing abilities without him. So I think, we'll see. Again, they've already advanced. They're going to play for the group title. I know it's important for Canada to get that group title because they get to stay in Canada for the round of 32 if they win the group. And but either way, like, the draw doesn't look that bad to me either. If you guys come in second, it's going to be Korea, probably. They're not a very scary team. I don't think they have a ton of attacking punch. So I think you guys are going to be fine.
All right. I just had to ask that because it was exhilarating to see, but we have to remember we did lose a great player there. It was also tough, gruesome injury to watch. So it was just horrible to see, and happy that we end up not playing Davies in that match because it was a little rough and physical there and didn't really.
Would you play him against Switzerland? I wouldn't.
I default to you for these. If you say no, then I agree with you.
No, I'd roll him out. I mean, maybe some minutes to get his
late sub, maybe.
Ready,
yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't mind that. We'll have to see. But anyways, let's get into the games for today. The most important game of today, USA versus Australia. Like you talked about, Pulisic sounds like he's playing. Listen, I like him as an anytime goal scorer today at plus 170. I'm going to save the rest of the anytime goal scorers for our live stream, but I like him as one of them. And we don't know how long he's going to play, but on FanDuel, you're not going to get punished for him getting subbed out. Your bet will go with him if that is the case. USA, Australia, talk me through this match here.
Yeah, so it's another challenge for the United States against a low block defensive team. Now Paraguay would probably be more closely qualified as like a mid-blocky, whereas Australia is a little bit deeper in their defensive block. They're better aerially. It is going to be a challenge for the United States because I think if you go pull up the tape on what they did to Turkey, they really forced Turkey to go into those wide areas over and over and over again. Now, Turkey does not have McKennie and Tillman making those runs from midfield. They do not have those players. And I think that has really been the number one key for the United States in unlocking these more defensive teams, in creating better chances than just relying on wide creation. So with McKennie and Tillman out there and Pulisic, I still think the United States attack is game to score. And I think that the market has the United States rightfully favored around minus 170, but I would be looking to play an over 2.5 or a team total over with Pulisic in the lineup today. I think it's an attack that is taking risk. Pochettino is making a calculated decision with his midfield, giving McKennie, Tillman, and even occasionally Adams freedom to go forward, knowing that he has this back three that he finds reliable. The Aussies, gave up a lot of control in the match against Turkey because they didn't really ever feel threatened. I do think that the calculus changes a little bit against the United States because I think the United States will punish them more. So I do think Australia will have to play a little bit more aggressively than they did in that first match. They're going to take more chances. And I really think it is a smart strategy against this version of the United States to press Tim Ream a bit, to press Tyler Adams a bit, see if you can't generate turnovers and get out in transition and meet them a little bit further up the pitch than they did Turkey. Because it was very easy for them. They got a relatively early goal. They had the lead against Turkey. I think it's going to be harder for them to execute that strategy. So both teams are making conscious decisions, I think, assuming Pulisic is in, to turn the dial toward attack a little bit. So that would favor the over for me. I know every game just about has gone over at this World Cup. So over bettors and BTTS bettors are enjoying their second yacht while I'm drinking and eating water for dinner. But it's probably a good play here.
All right, over 2.5.
And then
both teams.
What's Balogun's shots?
Balogun's shots. Shots right now for Balogun. Let's go. I'm looking at the 2+ shots market. It's minus 1,000. Let's look. 5+ is plus 185. 4+ minus 125. 3+ minus 300. The shots, not shots on target.
So 4+ is minus 125.
Yes,
that went up a full shot. Because I got over 2.5 minus 145.
Wow.
And now it's over 3.5. So that market, the market is on to flow. Let's just say that.
All right. They like Balogun there. Any just from in terms of perspective here from the Australians, are they comfortable with a draw here, or are they're going to be pushing for a win? I know you said they're going to be pushing and looking to attack here, but with the way that they play with their low block, are they comfortable coming out of this game with a draw with a win in hand already?
They should. I mean, it guarantees advancement. 4 points is a guaranteed advancement in this format. And they have the weaker group game left on the docket. They're going to play Paraguay on the final day, whereas the U.S. has Turkey, who we think is a better team than Paraguay, even though this group was very tightly contested throughout. And if that happens, they'll be behind by a goal on goal difference. But you'd say, like, we'll take our chances at erasing that if both teams win. We think we could win by more. Now, the Aussies are not an explosive team in terms of racking up goals on a quality defensive side, but they're also going to be playing a Paraguay team who could be eliminated tonight. So that would be a tough look. Yeah,
they could be down and out after tonight's game. If
Paraguay loses tonight, USA, Aussies draw, or Aussies win,
they're out.
They're done.
All right. Let's flip over and talk this Turkey-Paraguay game next then, because I was going to go in game order, but I think it makes more sense to talk groups, keep the groups grouped together. Of course, like we talked about, both teams lost in their first match day. It's a must-win for both teams. Like you said, Paraguay lose and a draw from Australia or a win from Australia, and they're out. Anything you like in this match in terms of from a betting angle?
Yeah, so I did bet Turkey at plus 115 was the number that I got yesterday. I think this is a little bit of an overreaction in the market. When we go back to what Turkey was priced prior to the tournament, they were priced pretty comparably to the United States. And now you have to downgrade Paraguay more than you downgrade Turkey off the first match. I know that Turkey looked bad too, but they at least had control of the match. They did create chances, a lot of low quality chances, but they did create chances nevertheless. Had more expected goals in that match as well. Whereas Paraguay was completely blown off the field. So, like, I think Turkey got too much of a downgrade to this number compared to where they should be. And I'm going to buy the dip here and take the Turks at plus 115 to win this. They have to go for it. So if this game is tied late, like, you're going to see both teams going all out to try to win it, because a draw doesn't really help either team at this point in the competition. A win could be the difference between advancing and not. So you'll see a few of those kind of games coming up here with teams who are on 1 or 0 points, where you could play for a draw, but the draw is not going to do much for you. You might as well go for the win.
Yeah, no, the plus 115 there for Turkey, plus 105 on FanDuel. Make sure you shop around for that number. I've seen a 120 out there as well, so keep your eyes peeled on those sports books. Let's flip over and talk Group C here. I can't believe we're taking so long on this, so we got to go rapid fire here. Scotland and Morocco is the first match today. Brazil, Haiti is the second match today. I want you to break down both matches for us here, but I also want you to talk a little bit about in my mind, like, when I look at this stuff, I was looking at the groups. I'm like, I'm always trying to find correlated parlays and stuff that maybe the books aren't pricing in here. And I came to the conclusion that I think Morocco spread, whatever they win by, is going to be correlated, or should be correlated, with Brazil's goal total, because it seems like Brazil wants to outscore Morocco in this one to try and finish first in their group. I might be wrong here, but do you see that as well? Is that something that could be correlated that might not be priced in?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think that was the case with the Canadian game yesterday. Now, you need a very specific set of circumstances. And I think that the question to me is if Haiti comes out and defends as well as they did against Scotland and they fight like they did, is Brazil good enough to consistently score? I am not confident in that, quite frankly. And so I actually took under 3.5 at plus money here.
Okay.
My number has it around 3-4. So not a huge numerical edge, but just stylistically, one, I'm not really confident in my Haiti number at all. But two, I think that Brazil, to me, when you watch them play, they struggle to progress the ball into dangerous areas to consistently get Vinny Jr. and Rafinha in those places. And Thiago looked a little bit off in his connection with the wingers. So if you are reliant on these wingers to create all your chances and you don't have an out-and-out striker you trust, which is kind of how I feel about Brazil right now, there's some real holes. And I think 3.5 is a little high. I think Brazil probably wins 2-0, 3-0. Their defense probably won't be as tested in this match in transition like Morocco kind of exposed them. But I'm not confident Brazil can just go run up and pick its own score here like Canada did yesterday, like Switzerland did in the second half. I'm not confident in them really exploding here, even though, yes, if Morocco wins, they will certainly be incentivized to win by one more than Morocco does in the next match.
Yeah. Do you think it's Igor Thiago starting for Brazil here at striker? Do you think that's what they're going to stick with?
I mean, they could go Cunha, right? In theory, Hendricks in the squad, but I think they got to go one more time with Thiago.
Okay, makes perfect sense here. Let's move over and talk to Morocco and Scotland game. Morocco right now are the favorites at -155. Of course, like they need to win if they want to come first in this group. And I think a lot of us here in the chat, and I believe you as well, have some Morocco to place first in their group. So we're all cheering for Morocco in this one. Anything you like in this match?
Yeah, I'm just going to ride the futures position. I think Morocco are in a position they've almost never been in this World Cup setting. 4 years ago, 6 games they played. 5 of them were against teams where they were not expected to have any possession. It's like Croatia, Belgium, France, Portugal, Spain. They could just sit off and do the kind of Morocco transition attacks, get the ball, win, break quickly, and go from there. Same thing against Brazil, right? They were not a team that was expected to have possession. The narrative flips a little bit when now Morocco has to be the creator, the aggressor, the team that is playing on the front foot against the Scotland team, which still has a midfield that can go to toe-to-toe and probably out-physical Morocco there too. So I would not be dying to lay it, especially now that they've taken some money. Like when it got down to around -125, -130, I was getting ready to say, okay, I'm going to swallow my pride and just take Morocco here. But now -150, 55, I'm pretty in line with the market. So hopefully they can win for our +450 group future, and we don't have to sweat it too badly.
Let's get Morocco home here today. Let's flip over and talk the Saturday matches. I know you're not interested too much in the Ecuador-Curacao match. The marquee match on Saturday, everyone's circling, is Germany-Ivory Coast. Should be a lot of fun. Quickly break down that game for us. It's going to be, right, like you mentioned, in our backyard.
Yeah, I mean, Germany won 7-1 in the opening match, and they had no real issues in terms of creating chances. But, there was multiple sequences in the first half where you're watching Mecha and Pavlovic in the midfield, and they're kind of struggling to cover ground to stop transitions from Curacao. And Curacao was in the penalty area. They had multiple dangerous chances. And I think the big red flag for Germany, everybody's like, wow, Germany, so great. 7-1 win against Curacao. They're flying. Most impressive team of round one. I mean, Curacao was never going to be the team that really tested Germany's defense. Ivory Coast can and will be, and they're able to hold up in the midfield and just get Diamande in space. Like, good luck. I really think the German wide defenders and the German defensive midfield is very flawed. So, I mean, like, I don't mind taking like a price on Ivory Coast to score early, score first half. And then I did take some Ivory Coast +1. I think Germany's a little overinflated off of that win last week, which ultimately to me doesn't mean anything. They could have beat Curacao by 15. I don't think it tells us a whole lot about what Germany is going forward.
Yeah, first half, you can get Ivory Coast to score in the first half at +160 here on FanDuel. Again, Diamande, like you mentioned, is someone you're watching closely for this tournament, and you're gonna be watching that game closely as well. The next two games I want to cover is Netherlands, Sweden, Tunisia, Spain. Group F matchup here, where again Netherlands kind of needs they don't need to win. They probably will qualify regardless, having to play Tunisia in their last match here, but they probably want to win over Sweden. Talk me through the Netherlands and Sweden game.
Yeah, this one, my numbers say I'm supposed to play the under. Sweden played a really impressive, air quotes, impressive first game against Tunisia. They scored 5 goals. Everybody got on the score sheet. Kumbaya, everybody's happy. I mean, if you go look at the goals that were scored in that game, I mean, the goalie for Tunisia was a disaster on the first 2. Then Shqiri is just dribbling around in his own half with no one to pass to. He gets pocket picked for the 3rd goal. I mean, it was so bad. Like, so many of these African teams have overperformed at this point in the tournament. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that AFCON was in January. So all these teams, except for Ghana, got to play a tournament before the real tournament. And so they have a lot more cohesion, more organized, et cetera, et cetera. Tunisia is the team that changed up their whole system. Like, they new goalie in there. They made a bunch of changes to the personnel, and they sucked. So they fired the coach. Now they bring in Hervé Renard, and Hervé has this crazy track record of pulling out these like magical wins and upsets. I love Hervé, so like I'm kind of tempted by Tunisia, but also how could he possibly be ready to coach a team that he didn't know any of the players a week ago? He's just hopping in for one match. He's going to give him like some impassioned halftime speech, and they're just going to figure out all the flaws, the issues they've had. So Tunisia is a really tough team to figure out. They might just be god awful, so I'm not going to bet them. And I think they're maybe a team worth taking alts in either direction if you have a strong opinion. Like, take a Japan alt or a Tunisia money line if you're strong on that one. And then the Dutch and the Swedes, again, I don't really know how to upgrade Sweden. I had them rated much lower than the market coming into the tournament. They have talent, but they haven't never put it together with their personnel. They're not going to be able to scam some like high turnover goals off the Dutch. And I think the Dutch attack is very underwhelming. So like under 2.5s, I saw a plus money pop earlier. I was like, all right, I might have to fire on that one.
Yeah. Plus money there could be one to fire on. Let's move over and talk Sunday's match. We got to get out of here quickly. So rapid fire this one. This is the most important, the most interesting one, obviously, because of Group H did not go the way that we expected it to go. The fact that it's all tied here between Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, Spain, Cabo Verde, and Uruguay is playing Cabo Verde, Spain playing Saudi Arabia, and then of course Group G, Belgium, the big shocker there. They actually have, I would say, a relatively tough match here versus Iran. Anything you like on the Sunday slate?
Yeah, just parlay the draw in all 4 games. That'll be good. Round 2. This was the group. I mean, these were the 2 groups where everybody drawed on opening day, right? It was hilarious. You know, you became like a millionaire if you had $100 on it or something. Yeah, I mean, the market made some real big moves off of some interesting data. Like, Cape Verde got a huge defensive upgrade, which I'm not sure is warranted. The goalie had a huge stand-on-your-head performance. Spain didn't play 2 of its best attackers. Spain still had over 2 expected goals. That feels like a big market overreaction, and maybe water finds its level. But Uruguay also looked bad. I mean, I downgraded them considerably too, and I'm pretty low on their attack against lower defensive blocks too. So that game, like under 2.5 is minus 160. Like, the price is gone to bet an under there. If anything, maybe Uruguay to get margin, but I don't want to bet them either. And then, yeah, Spain, like, until you can confidently tell me how many minutes Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams are playing, I don't know how you bet Spain at this tournament, especially since Oyarzabal looked awful in the first match and had no connection at all with Gavi and Ferran. So this Sunday slate for me, I have not bet anything yet. I need more time. Got to learn more on Yamal. But I think Monday is the day I have circled, because we get to do another Portugal fade and another bet on our Congo boys. So.
All right, I love it. We'll definitely be chatting on Monday as well. Maybe, I don't know. I just I'll be in your DMs. I'll tell you that much. Whether you're on the show or not, I'm gonna be bugging you in your DMs. We love the doctors here on the show. Shout out DR Congo. And I just quickly looked the Sunday match day. If you bet every single team to draw 810 to 1. I was going to say 80.
All right, lock it up. Let's do it.
$100 to win $81,000. Then we'll go to Cabo together, or maybe we'll go to Congo together, Capo Verde. I don't know. We'll pick an island. Anyways.
You can roll it all onto Barry Horse's Brewers Futures.
there we go.
Any day now.
Anthony, I appreciate you joining the show. Appreciate you taking time out of your day today for coming on. I know it's a super busy season for you with the World Cup, but appreciate you coming on. You can follow Anthony on Twitter at Anthony Demando. Check out his work at The Ringer. He posted his article. Go check it out. 11 thoughts on the World Cup. Anthony, appreciate you. Have a good weekend. We'll chat soon.
Thanks for having me.
Great stuff there from Anthony, as always. Make sure you go check out his article. Do us a huge favor. Like, do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor and go check out his article on The Ringer. I wonder if we can get. I'll get Mike to post it in the chat in just just a couple minutes here.
I'm on it. Yep.
All right. 11 thoughts after the World Cup. All right. Whew. Quick reminder here before we get into our next guest. We have our live watch along right after the show, 2:50 p.m. Eastern time. Australia, United States. We're gonna be watching all the craziness happening in the match. Last watch along we were on. How many goals were there? 6 goals? 5 goals? 6 goals?
6 goals.
Craziness.
4-2 England.
I can't guarantee there will be as many goals. I can't guarantee that we will win as many bets. But what I can guarantee is we will have just as much fun. So make sure you are there, 2:50 p.m. Eastern time, live, U.S. watch along. Anything else to promote? I think that's it. That's it. All right. Let's close out the show here with a strong one. You know him as a Bitcoin Maxi. He is a Leafs fan. Oh my goodness, I'm Leafs pill today. He is a Blue Jays fan, Toronto Blue Jays fan. Well, at least his futures are on the Toronto Blue Jays, and I cannot wait to talk to him about that here today. He's got a dog with him, Mr. Barry Horse. How's it going, my friend?
Up? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're good to go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're just took the dogs to the beach, and
What's
they seem interested in this.
What's the little guy's name?
This is Petunia.
Petunia. Okay. I apologize. I assumed it was Petunia's adorable. She is adorable, I assume. Yeah. So,
yeah.
I assume I've gotten a lot of flack here because I have this saying that all dogs are boys and all cats are girls. And you see where I'm coming from with that.
We
right?
have 2 girls, but yeah,
okay.
I do.
That's
kind of my baseline too.
All right. Isaac called me a fucking moron when I said that live on air. So there we go. I appreciate that you're on my side here. Excited to talk some baseball with you. Excited to take a stop. I'm going to pause from the World Cup action. Quick question about baseball in general. Because you're still betting this stuff mid-season. With the World Cup on, have you noticed anything in terms of market? I don't want to call it market irregularity, but like just maybe less money in the market, less people paying attention to things. Have you been able to pick off some stuff while the World Cup's been on?
I would say there's been zero connection to that, honestly. I mean, the way baseball's been, I can only talk on baseball and the market from like 2015 on. And honestly, I would say I haven't really well understood the market until like 2019 on. So at least for as long as I've been doing this, most of like the moves, not where like, your book is FanDuel for the show, not where like FanDuel would be like home team is minus 165 and it moves to like minus 169 or whatever, but like a real move where it goes from like 65 to 80 and the whole screen lights up. Since I've been doing this every year, there's probably around like, honestly, only closer to half a dozen than a dozen people or groups who are doing those basically. So, and that's still the same. And from my perspective, they're not like more distracted by the World Cup or anything. So
yeah, I assume so. I was just wondering because if maybe like, I don't know, there was maybe angles or edges you found in the short term over the last couple of weeks where that could have happened. One thing in particular that I think like the rec community would have been all over that probably wasn't was like the A's home games in Vegas where they went nuclear for some of those games. That just screamed to me like a spot where like recs would be all over normally, but because of the World Cup, they were kind of distracted.
I mean, it got priced up pretty quick.
True.
And I'm also not even like, they played 6 games there. I think I think the totals probably went 3-3.
True.
Off memory. Like honestly, the only 2 like crazy football scores were Monday and Sunday games. Yeah. So like, I don't even like, I want to say that Monday game almost certainly closed low. I think it was like 11.5, but like starting the next day, they were all like 13.5 juice over and 14 and 14.5. And who's to say that wasn't even high? I don't know. Like, there's still like a limit to the like,
of course,
even these like crazy Mexico City games, I think settled in around like 16 and 17. Like they can't be 20. Like the winning team for you to, if you're betting over 20, has to score at minimum 11. Like that's just a lot. Like, that's much more than one run in inning. It's a lot.
Course. Yeah, it is absurd. I just wanted to pick your brain about that, maybe if you saw anything, but I guess not. All right, let's move on. Yeah. I'm gonna be selfish here. Talk about the Blue Jays, my Blue Jays. If you recall, we were in around a similar spot last year where we were at this stage around 500. Talk to me about the team, sentiment around the team. If we look at the odds right now, it's the Blue Jays are 15-1 to win the AL East, 25-1 to win their World Series. AL East seems a little too tough right now, but World Series bets, we've seen it come. We've seen the market not be as high on this Blue Jays, I guess, as we expected. Yeah. Are you worried about this team at all?
I mean, they ran out like utterly horrific pretty much from after the first week with injury. Like I know technically in WAR, Kirk is like only worth whatever 4 or 5 wins or whatever. Yeah. But especially before Valenzuela, the last like month, they really settled in with him when they were using like Heineman as much or more. I really feel like that gap might be like closer to 10 than 5, honestly. And honestly, you probably could just sum up the record and everything to just that. I mean, I don't think any, myself included, expected Springer to be as good as last year, but and I don't want to get like crazy into rumors spreading that I don't fully understand. But I think there's been some like personal stuff he was dealing with the first month, in addition to a broken toe. He looks a lot better in the last 2 weeks. I still wouldn't expect him to have like a 400 WOBA like last year, but if he's, whatever, 360, 370, that's a huge deal from what he's been. The big thing is like pretty obvious, and I kind of can't believe more people aren't talking about it, is Vlad's just literally been like a losing baseball player for $50 million for like most of the year. And it seems like a little more than a slump. So I'm not enough of like a swing mechanics expert, but I've never loved that like timing mechanism hitch, like wrist flip thing he does when he's loading. But he just looks completely lost to me. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to like rate that going forwards. Like every projection system, when you're that good and that plate disciplined from that age for like, a sample of like many years is going to love you. And obviously they all still do, but the plate discipline has gotten worse. So I don't know. He's 20, like this just, it makes no sense unless there's like an injury we don't know about, which I don't think there is. The bat speed's still the same and he's 27 years old. So I just, I can't really explain it other than either psychotic random variance or like he needs a therapist or something. I don't really know, but it's hard to be like turbo optimistic when you have $50 million losing you games.
Yeah, no, I think
day in, day out. Like,
so it seems like for you to be back on this Blue Jays team, we obviously need the Vlad bat to come back. And it seems like, although
I mean, like there's a price for everything. Like,
of course.
Like if you, the rest of the American League's pretty horrible too. Like if I mean, preseason, they probably were expected to, I don't even remember exactly, something around an 88, 89, 90 win team, I'm guessing was their range. So whatever, that's like I'm bad at memorizing these in my head. Yeah, it's like a 550 win percentage. I mean, they could be that with Vlad being bad if like a few small, like it's one baseball player. It doesn't, one baseball player doesn't matter like that much. But yeah, if you're going to achieve like being a 95 win or better quality team, like you would like the guy who is projected for 5 wins to not be worthless. So obviously.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get like a better run with our injuries here. And maybe that the better run with injuries will hopefully buy us more time for Vlad to come back up in the air if he does.
Even like, you could add them all up, but like Lucas had vertigo, then missed a couple weeks, like Barger. None of these are like, I'm not going to bet a future or not bet a future for any one of them. But when like 5 of them are out, even like, I don't really care about Cody Ponce, but when the replacement's going to be Scherzer with a 7 ERA, like that does matter a little. Like it adds up.
Yeah, so. No, for sure. Before we hopped on air here, Anthony was on here previously talking about your Brewers futures. Are you high on this Brewers team this year? Was that a preseason? I feel like I don't remember us talking preseason about the Brewers.
Yeah, I mean my whole career bit, like again, I said I started like 2015. My whole career, I've at least the only baseball I've watched since I've been doing this full time and carrying is like almost literally every year Cleveland, Milwaukee, and Tampa outperform what people think they're going to be.
Yeah.
And the market, like if you just go off like all the public projection systems and stuff, the market has upped them like on the order of 2 to 3 wins on like not that win total markets matter much, but just like how they're priced in market going into April and May and stuff. But like that from my perspective hasn't been like remotely enough with some of the things they're doing. I think this is fine to talk about because honestly, the market really has boosted Milwaukee a lot the last 2-3 weeks. They, in my opinion, are like extremely not randomly fantastic with runners, specifically on second base. Like if you look at basically every like it's been a pretty long understood concept in sabermetrics and everything that being clutch or like better with runners in scoring position just isn't a thing. Literally ever. And like there's basically no example of any team being like within arm's reach of what Milwaukee has been for the last 7-8 years with that. And from my perspective, like it's way above like statistical relevance and or whatever, like P scores of 100 point. Like you can't explain this as anything being random, in my opinion. And from what I see, I think they're like extraordinary at pitch tipping with a runner on second base and picking it up and communicating it and just prioritizing that. So like they're really good at winning games because you know on the runs that like really matter, like outperforming run differential and having a good run differential to begin with above their talent level. But and in terms of like winning, I mean, like when everyone's back in October, like this will probably be the best version of the Dodgers of this whole run. So like, I don't know. I've kind of, this has happened. Like I said, I've only done this since 2015. There's never been a team like the Dodgers the last 3 years when they're whatever, like I think less than 2-1 favorites to win the World Series before the season starts. And the way I make numbers is just like very difficult for a team to be that or cheaper. And like basically I've shown like 0.5% and 1% edges on every team that's competent. That's not the Dodgers the last 3 years and obviously would have lost. And I don't think that's that random. And I think they definitely play above their like regular season pace and everything when the games matter, when their rotation is what it is. So I don't know if you want to pull up prices. I can tell you if I like any Milwaukee stuff, but there's probably teams I like more than them.
All right. Yeah. Talk me through the teams. Talk me through the teams you like more then. And I will say, I just got a message from Corby here and he's complaining because he says when Corby says Dodgers, it's square, but when Barry Horse says Dodgers, it's sharp. So I always make fun of him a little bit for bringing up the Dodgers here. He's an LA fan, so I have to, but yeah, it seems like you kind of you might be drawing dead if you're betting like World Series futures here. Are you sticking?
Yeah, it's just like, especially, I mean, the two teams we talked about so far probably are, if they wanted to. I have no idea if either wants to, but or even if there will be a trade. But like Scooble is obviously the main trade chip in the next month or so. And I almost never care about like trade deadline stuff like that, really materially changing futures odds for the World Series and stuff like that. But like that would impact all of these pretty meaningfully.
Absolutely.
The only team the last I checked, and like this price on World Series, I don't love. It's the only one I make value out of those whatever 6 teams is Seattle by like a hair
at 10-1.
I way prefer division. I don't know if you can pull that up.
Yeah, it's division's minus 210 to win the AL is plus 270.
I don't even want to tell you what I make it because I'm embarrassed by how often it is. And I'll just get trolled. But yeah, I think they completely lay just like miles over these other 4.
Okay.
I mean, everyone does too. Clearly, they're minus 210. But ignoring like the banked wins and just where they are, like I think there's huge room for them all to be better. I think Raleigh, very not randomly, was playing poorly because of this injury that he sealed. I don't think we'll ever price him as being as good as last year, but if he's relatively close, which I think he is, it's obviously a massive deal. I don't think it's random Arozarena's having a career year when he gets paid this summer or this winter. And from what I understand, he's back in like a week. Like this is a very minor, not like won't need a rehab assignment, hamstring thing. And then I think with the Yankees, like if you want to go back to the AL or World Series, you know, I don't hate them. I don't want to be like a Yankees hater, but just talking about like the rotation, how dominant how big these money lines can be when you have these aces, when the Dodgers have like 5 of them. I love Schlittler. Like I've been high on Schlittler. Like I've never been against Schlittler, but just in pricing the futures, when these games really start to matter in October, he's going to be getting well above career highs in inning counts. I don't know if they have a plan for that, of like semi resting him in August or whatever. I have no idea on the prognosis of Fried. And Cole I think it's always been really underrated at like capital P pitching versus throwing. And he still is probably better than he's ever been at that. But this is the worst he's thrown since he was a Pirate. And I think the results so far, I know he just threw a gem like 2 days ago, but like are a little scammy just based on like underlying numbers and everything. So I'm be closer to having him as like park neutral, context neutral, like high 3s ERA, and just not really like a super like crazy money line price in these games in October. And then Judge, like my understanding is he doesn't know, they don't like, they can't, it's just biologically an unknowable thing until he just sits on a couch for 4 weeks and they'll check at the end of July and see what's going on. But like to support some of these prices, I think the market's in the AL and everything expressing not quite certainty, but close to certainty. A, that he's coming back at all, and then B, that he'll be Aaron Judge, which I have no information on that, but I don't think they do or anybody does, and not a doctor, but like, my very low level guessing at this is the market's expressing too much certainty that everything's kosher there, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, for sure. Also, like, listen, when you follow sports for this long, you can get like sort of obviously we're not doctors, get somewhat of a feel of injuries. And we know that sometimes players do take time, and it feels like there's literally looking at these Yankees prices, it looks like there's almost like no weighing of like what happens if Judge comes back and he's not 100%. And that's like the bull case of him coming back as soon as possible. So it seems like you go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry to cut you off, but like, honestly, the real edge, I know I'm rambling on this, but like the real edge on these usually is, especially when you bet them in like April and March before the year, is like, not even the 26th man. It's like the 37th and 40th guys on the roster not being atrocious. That's another huge reason, honestly, that Cleveland, Tampa, Milwaukee have always outperformed is they have zero dog shit player. Like they don't have, no offense, but like their replacements are never Tyler Heineman. Yeah. So, or Chuck Mack, what's this guy, McAdoo, who's been flailing at balls for Toronto.
I think so, yeah. McAdoo, yeah.
Yeah.
McAdoo, yeah. Charles McAdoo.
I call him Chucky Mac. But Seattle is like uber deep. Like, you know, I don't even know if there are plans to have him in the rotation at all, barring probably 2 injuries. But I have like utmost confidence their third best pitchers in AA right now, Cade Anderson. I don't know if you follow prospects in this stuff, but I think even has a higher, like a more bullish projection than rookie year Paul Skeens had. Like I have basically utmost conviction if they called him up to the majors, he'd be like a low 3s ERA pitcher today.
Wow.
And like arguably their ace, but you know, definitely better than everyone, but basically Wu and Miller right now for them. So like things can go wrong, and I think they're good. And hitting wise too, like things can go wrong, and I think they're going to be good. Donovan's like honestly a huge piece they've missed all year too. So they've run out horrible. And yeah, that division's just like really, really bleak, like really bleak behind them. So I see big room of them having home series. And I think, like I said, I don't even want to say the division price. It's like a big gap. AL, I don't know if you want to pull those odds up. I think the World Series, I had not a huge edge. Like
it was 10-1 for World Series.
Yeah, I made it less than 10-1.
And then 370 for
like
AL.
Something I wouldn't really bet. Yeah, 370. I think I made that like 320 something the last I checked. So it's something.
All right. You never, first of all, never apologize cutting me off. You speak freely here on this show. But yeah, division futures is what we're looking at for the Mariners, -210, and plus 370 in the to win the AL. Listen, if you have the stones to bet them to win the World Series, be my guest. But I just don't want to step in front of the Dodgers.
And arguably at that price, you're getting close to where I don't know what you benefit by not just rolling over the series prices.
There you go. Yeah, that makes perfect sense here. Before you head out here, I want to quickly talk about some awards markets. You mentioned Judge. We don't know when he's going to be coming back, if he's going to be coming back, and to what degree he'll be healthy enough to come back. Sort of like shook up the AL MVP market. Do you have an opinion here with like Yordan Alvarez sort of vaulting up to the -140, Nick Kurtz at plus 230 with almost 70-ish games left in the season? I think maybe a little bit more, 80-ish games left in the season. Still a lot of games to be played. Is there any names you like that are sticking out to you, or do you think this market is just going to be like Alvarez and Kurtz the rest of the way?
I don't know if you want to pull the numbers up. I think, and I can see what's further below them. I mean, Alvarez has just objectively easily been unlucky this year. Like he's just godly at hitting. Honestly, he's probably the best hitter in the world right now. My understanding, again, this isn't my specialty, these awards. My understanding is this has been loosely like a proxy for the WAR leaderboard for the last
Mhm.
like it wasn't always this. Like Trout deserved it over Miguel Cabrera in some of those years if he went off WAR. But I think since the 2015-ish range, since I've been doing this more or less has just gone to the WAR leader. Kurtz playing bad first base versus Jordan playing DH mostly or horrible left field is like kind of a wash on the positional adjustment. I mean, obviously, like algorithmically, the WAR is accounting for the park as how they say they would, but I'm not convinced it's handling the Sacramento park perfectly still. And I don't know what this. I saw Witt hurt his knee last night. It seems like the market's assuming it's bad, but I have like just literally no clue what happened. Whatever, 18 hours ago or whatever. Of that list, just off my head, I think Julio's pretty dead. I don't know why or how to explain it, but the center field defense has been really bad for him, which has offset that. Honestly, I mean, Trout's playing abysmal center field right now, but there's a pretty like he's been objectively pretty unlucky this year, and looks like essentially as a hitter as not as good as he's ever been, but like as basically good as his last MVP, I think was 2019. There's a real path towards him getting to 40 bombs, but you're to get to your question, you're basically rooting on injury, which is not a horrible bet with Alvarez. Yeah, I don't know. Shea's 45 to 1. That's
45 to 1. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to look at what he's banked so far. I think he's probably like half a win or a win behind Kurtz. Both Shea and Trout are like the only ones on there that would make me want to even do digging on. I think. I know McGonagall's banked a lot of WAR, but I don't really see that.
Yeah.
And I could try and ballpark some math, but yeah. To stop the rambling, yes, Jordan's the best hitter on the planet. It probably is like a 2-ish man race, unless Witt is okay, then it's probably a 3-man race, barring injury. But those aren't easy for me to guess the math on the injuries.
All right, fair enough here. Any other awards you're looking at? I know we talked about Rookie of the Year. Our boy Chase DeLauder, unfortunate injury early on in the season, kind of derailed everything for us there.
Do you want to pull those up? I can go over.
Yeah. Do you have any opinions on the AL Rookie of the Year? Because it's right now it's McGonigal and Murakami. McGonigal's minus 180 right now. Murakami plus 550. I'm not sure if you're interested in NL as well, but yeah.
I mean, the top honestly 9 on that board, in my opinion, would all be live. Emerson probably hasn't played enough. It's probably a little late in the game for him. But like Okamoto could have a 10 homer month easily. I mean, he could get into like the mid high 30s, honestly, if things like broke hot for a couple weeks. I'm really bad at ballpark. I don't make these numbers for a living. Obviously, I mean, I think Bazana's legit as fuck. He missed like 6 weeks, I think, to start the year. I don't love any, to be honest. I think NL I liked a little. It moved though, I think, if you want to pull up NL.
Weatherholt.
I liked. Yeah, he's banked so much. I think he's around 3 WAR right now. And same thing, I guess. I'm presupposing this is essentially like a WAR leaderboard, and my understanding is it's basically been like that for a decade. I expect Weatherholt's hitting to fall off slightly. But with the defense he's playing, again, barring injury, I think it's fairly likely with where he's at in the order, he's going to finish around 5 WAR, which is just a lot to overcome. But when Eldridge, like as recently as a week ago or less, was around 10, 13, 8, 9 to 1, I bet some of those. He's been the best hitter in the National League for like at least a month right now. Like he's not been remotely unlucky. Like this guy is going to be like a superstar for a decade. I'm pretty sure. Like he's easily the best hitter of everybody on this list. He's a DH and he missed like a month and a half. So for him to get, I don't even think he can get to 5 WAR without like just a crazy hot stretch. But he could easily get to like 3.5, 4. So you're kind of underwriting like crazy Weatherholt regression or injury as needing to be like 20-ish% chance. But then you need Eldridge to not get hurt too. I don't really think I could support this current price, but if it moves around a little, or again, I know there are really high numbers as recently as a week ago. There could be other ones, not to dissuade you from your FanDuel. But
no. We all
better prices.
Of course, we always preach to shop around. Obviously, we want FanDuel to sponsor the show, but pull up their markets. But if you can find better prices, we always say, like, why would you take a worse price when there's better prices out there in market? And hopefully, some people have some Eldridge from like early on in the season. We talked about him. Like, I don't know. I don't remember if it was with you. Maybe it was with Moretto.
No, I didn't really have an opinion. I'm pretty like jaw drop impressed by this. Like he literally like is just. Sounds completely nuts, but he basically is Ohtani as a hitter today. And I don't think it's random, or any luck at all. Like he's just really nasty.
He's a mutant. He's like 6'7". He's like an absolute mutant. So like, and he can swing a bat. So like,
I saw way more whiff. And I think everyone did. Like it happened pretty quick. But I saw way more whiff and more chase than there's been. But yeah, I thought maybe he'd reduce one of them in exchange for the other staying still, but to get both down like this is like he's a problem. Like honestly, at this point with where Kurtz was last year, he's ahead of things. Wow. So and like predictively also like whiffs less. So yeah, I mean, there's a really high ceiling here.
Yeah, absolute stud. Giants have a good guy there in Eldridge. Any other thoughts you want to get out here before you head out? Any final thoughts, whether it be on any markets or trends you're noticing that you want to talk about? Anything that's been at the front of your mind that you want to share with the audience, because people do care about your opinion on baseball, and we always want to hear your thoughts.
I mean, people should just be aware, like the drag levels on the baseball for the last month have been at like 2019 levels. The impact on the game and scoring haven't been that, which is hard to rationalize for me. Over is crushed for like a month for like the first week of June, but not the last week or so. So yeah, I'd monitor that because I lost a lot of money 7 years ago when I wasn't accounting for that well, and I would tread carefully with making sure you know what's going on with that. Yeah, the offense has been up a little this month, like more than just the weather would indicate, like probably 8-ish% better than I would have expected, accounting for weather, and it's probably the ball. That's not enough to just blind bet overs, but just something to be aware of if you're not accounting for it.
All right, just be aware of the drag, which you can find on Baseball Savant, right? That stuff is
yeah. If you just Google like Baseball Savant drag, it should be the first link, and it'll show the last, I think, 10-ish years. And you can zoom in on this year, and
it's just
2019 was are you doing that yourself right now?
Yeah.
2019 was the rabbit ball year. You can see all the low dots basically. And this year started like a normal, like the same dead ball of the last 4 or 5 years. But like starting a month ago, it's just fallen off a cliff. I don't know if that's intentional or. There you go.
This is pretty hilarious, like to look at, but yeah.
And if you'd like take your mouse, you can drag over the rectangle just on 2016. If you like click and just drag, like you're selecting, I don't know if I'm describing this well, but like you can zoom in. Yeah, exactly. So like if you do that, it'll zoom in on that year, but go back to reset zoom and then do that for this season. And you'll see probably a little more clearly. Yeah, exactly. A little easier to see, and you get the values and everything, but
all right,
definitely need to be aware.
Before you head out, just for those who don't know, what exactly is drag on the ball?
So this is accounting for environmental conditions. So none of this is like the crazy Vegas game wouldn't catch this or anything. But all they do is they take every four-seam fastball and take basically from the release point. This measures extension, everything. Like you get the exact feet from the home plate from when it leaves the pitcher's hand and the velocity it's at. And you can measure how quickly, like how many microseconds it took from the pitcher's hand to the catcher's mitt at every four-seam fastball that's been thrown in baseball. For each of these dots is each day in the calendar. So for each of those days, it's all the four-seam fastballs that were thrown. And if they're getting to home plate faster, that means the drag on the ball is less.
Okay.
That is not super important. Like you could argue that's like a micro fraction of a percent actually harder to hit because fastballs are getting on you slightly faster. The way bigger impact is on carry distance with fly balls. And this is what we saw in 2018 when you had like, random slapdick, like switch hitting 9-hole hitters hit like 30 bombs that year. Like, it was crazy. It's the only year since World War I where bullpens had a higher ERA than starters. Like, it was just a complete mess of a year. I got like very infamously lost that year. Like, it was horrible for me not knowing how to handle something like this. So yeah, now that as you see when you zoom in on that was like a very clear, like, league wide, I think, goal to get offense up. Yeah. I don't really know what the hell is going on this year, but just something to be aware of.
Yeah, no, that's appreciate you pointing that out to us. Something for us to keep an eye on as the season drags on. No pun intended. Sorry, sorry, it's right there. I had to do it. Barry Horse, appreciate you joining the show. You can follow Barry Horse on Twitter. Link is in the description down below at BarryHorse_29. Appreciate you for sharing your final thoughts. Appreciate you sharing those division futures. Hope you enjoy your time at the beach if you head out with the dogs again. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Awesome stuff there from Barry Horse, as always. Tuning in from Costa Rica, I believe it is. So, yeah, nice weather over there. All the best to him. Appreciate him coming on and sharing that knowledge. Drag, had no idea what that was going to be like an impactful thing. Well, it turns out it is. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Reminder in a month, keep an eye on the drag leaderboards for baseball, whatever, drag charts. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Before we head out here, quick reminder, you guys know the drill. We got a live watch along, 2:50 p.m. Eastern time, live on this channel right here. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified right when we push live. 10 minutes before the U.S.-Australia game. Going to be a lot of fun before we head out as well. Before we head out, no, you know what? I'm going to save the goal scorer props. I'm going to save the bets for the stream. We're saving the bets for the stream. If you want the bets, you're going to have to tune into the stream. And that's what we'll do.
Yes.
That's what we'll do.
Leaderboard, though.
Time for the leaderboard. Let's bring it up first. There I am, situated right behind G-Stack, just nipping at his heels. One win for me today, and a loss for G-Stack will have me vaulted ahead of him. Canada with the half goal. Listen, if I knew that Switzerland-Bosnia game was going to end the way that it did with as many goals as it happened, I would have taken all of the Canadian alts. I didn't know that it would happen like that, so I ended up only on Canada -1.5. Let's flip over and see what we got for the picks for today. Jason hold on. Charles, Jason, did you see my comment about making it quick? Oh, no, I did not see that comment, but I'd like to see it again. Quickly, leaderboards. Not very quick. Oh. Scotland under 3.5 corners for Rob at -110. Turkey, Paraguay over 8.5 corners -112 for Moreno. Too many corner markets. These guys need to stop with this. Brahim Diaz 2+ shots on target +140 for the Drunken Goon. G-Stack loves the Americans today, minus the half, 3-way money line on USA. I am taking Scotland under a half team total for the first half, -310. We got Jacob back on the cards markets again. I faded him yesterday. It's very good to me. I'm going to probably fade him again today. TA loves his Moroccans at the -half at -150. USA, Australia, draw +360 for Joey Knish. By the way, this guy is so un-American. He's taking the draw in the U.S. game, and he's born in America. Why are you taking the draw? You guys got to get on Knish for that on Twitter, because yesterday he made fun of my pick, Canada -1/2, and then he tailed me. Freaking Knish.
Don't they say in betting, Jay, like you don't win money betting favorites? Like, you. Like,
they don't say that. They don't say that.
No?
They definitely don't
Not
say that.
like betting favorites, but like.
They definitely don't say that. Anyways, Charles' comment in the chat there. Did you see my comment about making it quick? Can we scroll up to Charles' comment?
Yeah. Because
I did say let's get out of here quickly. I love Jason being like, hey, we got to go rapid fire here, but be quick, but then gives a 2-minute preamble to the question. Yeah, you know what? Apologize, guys.
There's another question.
I saw another one of those as well.
Wait. Oh, yeah. Version of rapid fire.
A master's thesis length. Good stuff there. Appreciate you guys in the chat as always. Shout out Joseph Meyer. Shout out Charles Saul. Shout out Alex. Shout out George. Shout out everyone else. I miss Corby, Caustic. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button. Goes a long way. Derek as well. Smash that like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. The new channel as well. Hit that subscribe button. If you're listening in audio form, give us 5 stars. Goes a long way. Drop a comment down below if you're watching this after the fact as well. And quick reminder, if you missed yesterday's show, you're gonna want to tune in. You're gonna want to watch it. It was a very, very great look back at match day 1 with Anthony DeBundo. He was on the show earlier today. He gave his opinions for all the games this weekend. But if you want some opinions for Monday's games, Tuesday's games, Wednesday's games, go check that out. It's super, super important if you're betting on the World Cup to be up to date with all that stuff. So yeah, go check out the video yesterday. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Circle Back was live yesterday. If you haven't checked that out, check that out as well. And that's it. That wraps up today's show. I said we were going to get it here early. Nope, it's 1 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you guys on the watch along. This has been the Friday, June 19th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We'll see you guys right here on Monday.